Pigeon House Precinct was developed around the Poolbeg Harbour. It was one of the deep pools in Dublin Bay. On the site there is a number of very important buildings that have a national significance. The DEGS building, which is behind us, is the Dublin Electricity Generating Station, which was built in 1903. This national monument, but at the moment is in a kind of very serious and critical state of dereliction. This weekend we're here to, I suppose, showcase and celebrate a 6-month period of research that Commonage has undertaken in collaboration with Dublin City Council. And as part of that, 4 artists, Sven Anderson, Fiona McDonald, Nick Thomas and Aoife Desmond, have developed 4 new works.
It's really nice during the course of the day because as the sun changes, you know, the kind of shadows and everything in there start to, it almost becomes, it looks like everything's kind of synchronized and scored or something.
Because you've got all this greenery's growing up around it and inside it as well.
Oh yeah, it's a real...
different habitats sort of, a different...
But that's the funny thing about spending time out here, and I mean, obviously when you listen to things over time, you kind of get in touch with what's going on. But it's the birds, it's the ships, it's the tide and the wind and all this kind of stuff. The kind of idea that I'm working with here is this American sound artist Max Newhouse works with this idea of he samples sounds in real time that are happening around you and then builds them up to a point where you kind of come out of the reality, and then actually it's the moment where it disappears where you kind of connect, and that's the moment where the work exists.
My piece is called Trading Time and it's located in the old Pigeon House Harbour. I make reference to the port colours, it's orange, and I have used shipping materials or shipping barrels, hemp rope, plywood that's used normally in crates as a reference to the trade that happens in the port. And it documents the microclimate or environment in the harbour through the use of a camera on the piece. And then the piece itself is being documented by a CCTV camera that's located in the Pigeon House Hotel. I wanted to capture something of the movement of traffic in and out of the working port, and also to use the piece to document the rise and fall of the tides throughout the day.
Got fascinated with the word Lacuna. Lacuna meaning a pit or a gap, referring in this project to coal, also referring to kind of a gap in memory or a gap in consciousness. So did a lot of free writing, basically just streams of consciousness, writing with charcoal and with coal.
Here is where I saw you first. It's a long time since you've gone from this road. Travellers you're known as.
This film, Passage Migrants, is essentially like a wander or a walk through the peninsula, and then from a very subjective position, and then it's going through different layers of usages of the site, so from contemporary to historical, from industrial to very personal and individual and to natural.
Enter by the roundabout and exit past the lighthouse.
The works that have been made are quite modest in scale and in intensity, and that was very deliberate. We didn't want to compete with the monumental scale of the building, and iconic is a difficult word, but iconic status in kind of Dublin skyline or in Dublin imagination.
Really, really central to this project is bringing together as many sort of different and varied people who have a huge amount of knowledge and interest in the site, and bring them kind of into some sort of dialogue and hopefully kind of also confrontation. I think that probably happened yesterday in the talks.
This wall also survived until quite recently, and still parts of it does survive. When you stand at the gate or the front door of Pigeon House, the wall facing into the harbour is actually part of the military fortifications.
That was known as the green patch because at high tide it remained a dry patch or a small patch of green land.